7 High-Income Skills of the Top 1%. I'm about to share with you the only 7 skills you need to create unlimited wealth. These are the exact skills the top 1% of earners use to attract wealth into their lives. They're also the same skills I used to go from being a broke 25-year-old to building a $100 million empire. So, without further delay, here are the 7 skills that will make you rich. The first skill is connecting. Skill 1, Connecting with people. Connecting with people is the number 1 skill for building wealth. Relationships are like currency in the entrepreneurial world, but if you don't know how to connect, it can be tough. The first thing to master is remembering people's names. I get it, some people say, I'm just not good with names. But the truth is, the most beautiful sound to any person is their own name. It's the same for you, right? So, make an effort to learn and remember names. It's a small action that makes a big impact. Another key to connecting is curiosity. A lot of people feel nervous about meeting new people because they don't know what to say. The solution is simple: ask better questions. I like using how and what questions because they get people talking. When someone shares a story, it takes the pressure off you to say something impressive. Just listen and be genuinely interested. If you're the one asking the questions, people will walk away thinking, I really like that person, even if they don't know exactly why. Following up is just as important. You've probably heard the phrase, fortunes are made in the follow-up. And it's true. If you meet someone interesting, someone doing great things, or someone you can help, don't let the connection fade. A simple follow-up message keeps you top of mind. It can be as easy as, hey man, I just met someone who mentioned your name. Hope you're doing well. Staying in touch strengthens relationships and opens new doors. Another way to grow is by getting into bigger rooms. If you're the smartest person in your peer group, it's time for a new peer group. If you're the most successful person in your community, find a new one. Growth happens when you surround yourself with people who challenge and inspire you. I remember when I first moved to New York and got invited to a brunch at the Royal Restaurant. As I walked up the driveway, I saw valets parking luxury cars, Lexus, Mercedes, Audi R8s. I almost didn't go in because I felt out of place. But I went anyway, and that decision set the tone for my entire experience in Silicon Valley. The lesson? If you're the big dog in your room, find a bigger room. And if there's no room for you, make one. Don't know anyone? No problem. Create an event. If you want to meet high-level people, host something they'd want to attend. Find one speaker they respect, invite them, and build around that. My friend wanted to grow his network, so I gave him this advice. He found a top speaker, organized an event called Mastermind Set, and it changed his life. At the time, he was just 25, working retail at Apple. But that one event made him one of the most connected people in his city, because he created the room. Before we move on to skill number 2, we've got a goal of hitting 1 million subscribers. If you want to stay connected and learn more, hit that subscribe button. Now, let's talk about skill number 2, being lazy. Skill 2, being lazy. I know you're shocked. What am I talking about? I thought we were here to work hard. Nope. I'm actually going to encourage you to be as lazy as possible. My philosophy has always been this: if I can have someone else do something for me, especially if it's something I'll need to do over and over, then I should never do it myself. I want to make a decision once and never repeat it. In software development, there's a principle called do not repeat yourself. I've taken this idea to the extreme. Even back in 2019, I had a full-time CTO working for me. He built apps, automated my processes, helped me analyze investments, managed networking activities, and found new opportunities. If I did something once and knew I'd have to do it dozens of times, I'd say, "Hey, can you build some code for this?" And just like that, problem solved. Being lazy is actually the right move. Broke people get good at doing tasks. Rich people get good at avoiding them. So here are 6 ways to be strategically lazy. First, fix frustrations. Most people brush off small annoyances, thinking, "It's not a big deal, I'll just do it." Cleaning up the house, running errands, grabbing a charger, it all adds up. I encourage you to walk through your home and make a list of things that frustrate you, even if they seem minor. Where the soap is in the bathroom, how things are stored, or how your laptop functions. Once you see these inefficiencies clearly, you can eliminate them. Second, create stencils. Imagine I wanted to paint birds on a wall. I could either hire an artist to hand paint each bird, taking hours, or I could use a stencil and finish the job in minutes with a spray can. That's the power of building systems. For example, in my house, we have a spot in the pantry where anything placed there gets reordered automatically by our house manager, Betty. If I run out of toothpaste upstairs, I just put the empty tube in that spot, and it magically gets replaced. That's a stencil. It's a system that ensures I never have to think about it again. Third, delegate everything. If someone else can do a task for a quarter of what I make per hour, it makes 0 sense for me to do it myself. That hour is better spent reinvesting in my skills, business, or well-being. Things like pumping gas, running errands, or doing laundry. All tasks someone else can handle. Beyond efficiency, delegating removes mental clutter. The weight of undone tasks can be exhausting, so offloading them frees up energy for more important things. Fourth, set up sensors. A lot of people struggle with delegation because they worry, what if something goes wrong? That's where sensors come in. Think of a flood sensor in a basement, it detects water and shuts it off automatically. In my business, I apply the same concept. Whenever someone handles a task for me, I ask for a report. It could be a survey, customer feedback, or a simple check-in. This ensures I stay informed without micromanaging, preventing problems before they escalate. Fifth, stay simple. Being lazy means finding elegant solutions to complex problems. Take my Yeti coffee container, for example. The magnetic latch on top. Genius. No extra parts, easy to clean, and beautifully simple. Was it the cheapest way to solve the problem? Probably not. But simplicity is worth it. The best solutions are the ones that make life easier without adding unnecessary steps. Sixth, prioritize by saying no. A no is a yes to your goals, and a yes is often a no to your dreams. Most people don't know what they truly want, so they say yes to everything, hoping something will work out. But if you're clear on what you want to build, you have to say no, no to distractions, no to things that don't align with your vision. The less you take on, the more space you have to focus on what truly matters. But you can't just sit back and wait for opportunities to appear. Which brings us to skill number 3, creating. Skill 3, creating content. When I first started creating content, I was unbelievably awkward on camera. I'd go into the studio with my buddy, and we'd sit there for months just trying to shoot. Eventually, I put in the work to become someone who could shoot videos in one take. I didn't want to do multiple takes over and over again. Now, people see me and say, "Wow, you're so good on camera." But they don't realize it's been 5 years in the making. It's kind of crazy because I put out so much content, just showing myself to the world. And here's something most people don't know, this video. I don't see it until you see it. I don't tell my team what to edit, how to edit, or what to put out. From my reels to my YouTube videos, I create the content, and my team handles the rest. Because of that, my world is exposed, and people really get to know me. The other day, I was getting a haircut, and the guy sitting next to me looked over and said, "Damn," I said, "Hey, man." And just like that, we got into a great conversation about all the things he knew I was into and the things he was working on that he thought I'd find interesting. That made it super fun for me. It's not about who you know anymore, it's about who knows you. Building a network of people who can help you. That's great. But becoming someone so valuable that people want to know you, follow you, and help you? That's next level. That's why creating content is one of the highest income skills you can learn. So here's the deal, start creating now. Don't wait. The best time to start was 10 years ago. The second best time is today. I want to share a few principles with you. First, raise your hand. Anytime you get the opportunity to speak, take it. At a wedding, at work, when someone needs an MC, put your hand up. It puts you in a position to practice communication, develop your voice, and start sharing your ideas. Second, talk to your camera. One of my favorite exercises for my coaching clients is asking them to talk to their camera. When they start, they suddenly confront who they are. They look at themselves and think, "I don't like this setup. My hair looks weird. I don't sound smart. Man, I can't believe I forgot to shave." Just kidding about that last one, but you get the idea. This simple act forces you to work on yourself in ways nothing else can. Here's your challenge, shoot a 15-second video. Teach something, share a piece of inspiration, educate, or entertain, then post it. Facebook stories, Instagram stories, anywhere. Just put it out there. It's one of the best ways to develop this high-income skill. Third, coach and teach weekly. If you want to get better at creating content, start training others. Teach your team. Coach the people around you. Maybe it's coaching your kids' little league team or leading a weekly training session at work. I do this every week, I call it leadership training, and it's my favorite part of the week. As I pour into people, I get better at communicating, I create content naturally, and they benefit from the ideas I'm learning and reinforcing by teaching them. Everything you want is on the other side of reach and reputation. Who knows you? How big is your audience? What do they think of you? If you have a great reputation because you create value and you have a big reach, then your vision board, your dreams, and your goals sit on the other side of that. People don't buy the best product. They buy the best story. If you craft your content well, it tells a story about who you are. People will want to buy from you because they feel like they know, like, and trust you. Making content will teach you more about yourself than anything else you could possibly do. Which brings us to the fourth high-income skill, selling. Skill 4, mastering sales. When I started out, I used to spend 18 hours a day writing code. I was in my happy place, sitting behind my computer, not talking to anyone. I was more introverted back then. But when I finally built something and needed people to buy it, I realized, I wasn't very good at selling. At the time, I had no idea how to do it. So I went on a journey. I became obsessed with learning how to persuade, communicate, and convince someone to see the world the way I see it. Selling became the highest value skill I have. It's the thing that's made me the most money. I've raised over $600 million from investors, and the only way I was able to do that was by mastering this skill. Nothing happens in business until someone sells something. Selling isn't just about business, it affects every aspect of life. Want to get a raise? Learn to sell. Want to stay motivated? Sell yourself on your own potential. Want to attract top talent? Sell the vision of your business. Want to get investors? Sell the opportunity. Even in relationships, you have to step up and sell yourself as the best version of you. A lot of people are incredible at what they do, but they struggle to communicate their value in a way that makes others see it. Your income is directly tied to your ability to sell. And here's the crazy part, your ability to sell generates profits, and profits solve all problems. Some people don't like selling because they think it's sleazy. But my definition of sales is simple: getting people to change. Change their perspective on a problem, change their view on a buying decision, change their priorities. If I can get them to shift their mindset, I can get them to buy. That's selling. The way to get great at sales is by asking powerful questions. The best salespeople talk the least. Asking the right questions puts the buyer in a position where they want to buy. And if you manage to sell people on an idea, you'll need the next skill to keep them moving forward: leading. Skill 5, leading effectively. When I was in my 23s, I had a business, and I used to think, hey, I hired you to do the work. Just do it. But then I'd get frustrated when people didn't do things the way I expected, even though their resumes said they had the skills. Most of the time, I'd either fire them, or they'd quit. And at some point, it hit me, maybe the problem wasn't them. Maybe the problem was me. It wasn't just in business. Even with my family, my brothers, my sisters, I realized my job wasn't to control or demand results. My job was to lead. I had to learn how to lead myself so I could be the leader they needed. I had to be the example. It sounds crazy, but once I made that shift, once I took full responsibility for leading everyone in my life, everything got easier. There's this incredible quote from my mentor and friend, John Maxwell: leaders know the way, show the way, and go the way. If you don't know what's around the corner, if you're not showing people how to get there, and if you're not leading with clarity, no one will follow. Here are a few things that will help you become a better leader. First, if you don't have followers, it simply means you're not a good leader yet. If no one is knocking on your door to work with you, if people aren't eager to join your vision, that's a sign you need to grow as a leader. Second, everyone has opportunities to lead. It could be as small as raising your hand for a project at work, volunteering for something, or joining a nonprofit board. Leadership isn't just about titles, it's about influence. It's about being the example. Even something as simple as picking up trash on your street and inspiring others to do the same is leadership. But you don't want to be a transactional leader. That's when you just tell people what to do, check if they did it, and then tell them what to do next. That will trap you inside your business. Instead, aim to be a transformational leader. That means setting a clear outcome, defining how progress will be measured, and using a coaching framework to guide people when they fall short, not just criticizing them. Most people spend more time criticizing their team than training their team. My philosophy is simple: if you set a clear vision, give people the right tools, measure progress properly, and coach them to improve, you'll build an incredible team. You won't just be managing, you'll be leading. But even great leadership has limits. At some point, you'll hit a wall. That's why skill number 6 is grit. Skill 6, cultivating grit. I'm actually a little ashamed to admit this, but when I was 26, I started angel investing, and in my first couple of years, I lost almost everything. Almost $5 million. I went in thinking I had the magic touch, that just by getting involved, my investments would somehow turn into more money. But reality hit hard. I almost gave up. I seriously considered stopping altogether and just going back to building businesses, because that was something I knew how to do. But I didn't quit. I had grit, determination, and resilience. There's a quote that kept me going through every challenge: it's impossible to lose if you don't quit. I don't always know when I'm going to win. I just do the work. I trust the process. And that process, falling in love with the work itself, is what eventually gets me to the outcome I want. Business isn't a game of skill. It's a game of will. Do you have the will to keep playing? A lot of people think success is binary. I tried, I failed, I lost. And suddenly, they start believing they are a failure. But that's not true. You didn't lose, you learned. You only lose if you stop playing. I know, you've heard this before. It sounds cliché. But trust me, after 5 years of doing this, I can tell you firsthand, it's the truth. Today, it might look like I'm winning. But what you don't see is the years of work, the countless losses, and the lessons I had to learn the hard way. My overnight success took years. Many of you are just discovering my content now, maybe in the last 1 or 2 months. But I've been at this for over a decade. To some people, having grit sounds painful. But here's the thing, pain is inevitable. Everyone goes through pain. Suffering is optional. And the way you overcome suffering? Having a purpose for the pain. Skill 7, vision. Then the hard things don't feel painful, because they're just part of the process. And that brings us to the last skill, vision. The number one thing I learned when I moved to New York at 25 years old was this: if an idea wasn't at least $1 billion opportunity, it wasn't worth pursuing. I know that sounds crazy. Some of you are thinking, I just want to hit $1 million. But here's the thing, the person who wakes up every day with a 10-year goal of making $1 million and the person who wakes up with a 10-year goal of making $10 million, they're both going to work hard. They're both going to show up every day. The only difference? The size of their vision. Clarity of vision changes the decisions you make along the way. When I got to New York, I was suddenly surrounded by 23-year-olds building the future of technology and innovation. They wouldn't even entertain a conversation unless it was about billion-dollar outcomes. At first, it fascinated me. Then, it intimidated me. For a long time, I wondered, maybe I'm not cut out for this. But then I thought, if that guy can do it, why can't I? I remember being at a party with a guy who had just raised money at a $100 million valuation. He was running around the party trying to find someone to give him a pipe to smoke something. And I thought, I don't even do drugs. Why shouldn't I be able to compete at that level? That's when I really embraced a philosophy I got from Steve Jobs: everything you see around you was first imagined in someone's mind. That building. This city. Every innovation that exists today was once just a thought in someone's head. Someone no different than you or me. The only difference? They had the vision to create it and took steps toward making it real. So how do you develop that kind of vision? Here are 3 ways to make it actionable. First, write it down and get specific. If you don't put pen to paper, verbalize it, and document exactly what you want, down to the details, you won't have a clear target. And if you don't have a target, it's impossible to hit it. Second, look at it daily. I have my goals written in a document that I review 3 to 4 times a day. It's part of my 5 daily non-negotiables. I even have salespeople on my team who laminate their goals and keep them on their desks. I love it. Whenever friends visit, I grab them and say, "Look at this, this is a 22-year-old's 5-year vision for his life." It's clear, specific, and right in front of him all day long. Do you think he's going to hit it? Of course. Because when you keep your goals in your reality, they stay top of mind, and you start making choices that move you toward them. Third, speak it to others. Words activate your dreams. Most people have big dreams, but they keep them locked inside. If you want your vision to come to life, you have to say it out loud. You have to put it everywhere. The sad truth is that most people never let themselves dream big because the moment they do, self-doubt creeps in. Am I that person? Do I deserve it? Am I worthy of that kind of success? I coach people all the time who are terrified that if they chase their vision, they'll find out they're not who they think they are. But the crazy part is, that's the very reason they don't hit their vision. Not because they're incapable. Not because they're not good enough. But because they don't have clarity. Because they don't believe they're worth it. Conclusion. And I want you to know, just the fact that you're here, watching this right now, means you're special. You have a heartbeat, you have a soul, you're human, and that alone makes you unique. You don't need to prove anything. You don't need justification. The simple fact that you're here, that you're watching this, that you're seeking ways to make your life better, that means you're capable of doing it. And if you really think about it, it's kind of incredible. All the things that had to happen, all the moments that led you to this exact point, hearing this exact message, right now. I don't believe in accidents.